What's up, everyone? Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz coming at you with another set review. We are finally back today with Ayakashi Triangle, which is coming out tomorrow, actually. I am joined today by two special guests. The first is Brayden from the Clock Tower.
How's it going, guys?
The secret third member. Alongside Colton and Brandon. And then Nick from Ohio, Weiss Schwarz.
What's up?
And both of you have played this set a lot. I know personally I have seen Nick play almost every single card in this set, and Brayden says he has as well.
There.
So, yeah, so I think it's going to be... I've literally not played into most of this outside of just the stuff I've sat across from, specifically sitting across from Nick. So I'm excited to sort of go through everything here and see what it is, because I really only know the 8 pants deck. I know that's probably the one a lot of people are looking at. And then there's also like 8 standby, I think people are talking about. But there's a lot of stuff here.
Only me and talking about that. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you even like sat across from anyone but me?
Online, like a couple people, but really not that many. But yeah, we can just get into it here. Let's start with the TD. Not that many cards. Again, we are curating sets as we have been. So we'll have a wrap-up slide for any additional cards that are interesting. You might want to put in a deck, but don't really have too many talking points. We'll have that wrap-up slide at the end of every color. So Brayden, we'll kick it off with you.
All right. So first card here is this level 0 Shurigane. It has Act, pay 2, sack this 0/0 Matsuri off. If you're level 3 or higher, choose the TD finisher from your waiting room, place it on any slot of the stage, and it gains 2,000 power. And act, ditch a card, sack this, salvage a character, so it's also Helmet. This card is really good. Helmet's always great.
Do you ever play the other 2 cards? Like, is that combo playable?
So like the TD combo is Coco Chino and it heals on play. So like the finisher itself is fine, but I don't know if you're playing the other TD card is the big problem probably.
So you just play it for the helmet, basically.
Pretty much. I run it personally as just like a one of tech card just for the helmet.
Just for the helmet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you own like only a trial deck, and then like, yeah, you're probably gonna run like 1 or 2 of the 0/0 just for that. But I don't know. Helmet's good.
Does play it from waiting room, which is nice. But yeah, just having a helmet is pretty nice these days, especially since most sets just randomly windfall hand out of nowhere. The neg 1 for the selectivity isn't too much of an issue.
I will also say, I don't know if Nick, you've been on this for your lists in general, but I know we're not going to cover it in this review. There is a back row tap 2, check 4 at a 1 or higher. And there's a handful of cards that do like kill themselves for sack effects. So having...
Yeah, the only one of those that I have run is the red like 0/0 it's like also a draw ditch. And it's like you pay 1 sack. Yeah, I run that in several decks. Yeah.
I've been a fan of the tap any 2, so this works really well with that because you can get extra taps out for when digging.
And then get it off.
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's a yaoi down in blue, but we won't be covering that in this review. It's like a global 5 and tech 4 for a level 1 or higher.
Yeah, I think I might be on the wrap-up slide, but you know,
probably it might be one of those. But
right.
Sack effects are quite good in my opinion in this set. So
yeah, clearing your board slots, pretty nice.
Yep, I'm a fan of Helmet.
All right, next. Oh my God, what's this girl's name?
Matsuri.
Yeah, main character. Yeah, you can see how much I know about Ayakashi Triangle. I only know
You've got a great start
because that's what I sit across from. Okay, so during your turn, if you have 2 or more other characters, gets 2k power. Miko City is the common trait; it's on everything. And then when this attacks, if you have the door and you have 2 or more other characters, mill 2, Choose a level extra lower character in your waiting room. Add its hand X equal to the level of cards milled by this effect. So it is a cigarettes combo. 7/5 cigarettes. This has support cards in the booster.
It gets bigger, yeah.
Yeah, to make it bigger. But it is just a cigarettes, which can be good if you have the zeros to support it. I don't know if this makes it into anything by virtue of having Matsuri in name or having that synergy in the booster, but it's just a cigarettes, which is like totally fine.
Oop, I moved my box. There we go.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, just cigarettes.
I mean, for a trial deck combo,
Pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Not much else to say.
Moving on, Nick.
All right, this 1/1 event. Search your deck for one character with Matsuri and one character with Suzu in its name. Add them to hand, then discard. So I guess that does kind of matter because we saw the trial deck finisher before. It has both of them, so like you can grab your finisher and anything else. So I mean that's kind of nice. It's a little bit of a filter. I've never seen anyone run this, but like again, if you only have a trial deck, I suppose
it's a double drop
you could
search,
get some value out of this. Yeah.
Name drop
Coming
search.
from someone who's played way too much Tool of Rue, or this profile is like played at like 3. This can be good. I think the thing holding you back is Matsuri targets. I don't know like how many good Matsuri targets there are in like the main set. Suzu has targets all the time, but I don't know about Matsuris.
I've seen more Suzu cards than anything I know.
I bet you have.
Yeah. But like I don't know. This is probably like fine. Like
it is worth mentioning, like in the context of the trial deck, there is the trial deck like off finisher. It has both of them on the card, but I think it only has Suzu in the name.
Oh, damn.
I think that's in
funny.
the sum up or the summary. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
All right, back to the top. Brayden.
All right, so we have this Suzu. 1/0 on play gains 3k, so it goes to 5/5. And ditch a card on play, reveal the top, choose a level X or lower in your waiting room, X is the revealed level. So we got level 1 Rico that swings at vanilla.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm a big fan. I think level 1 Rico, so long as it's just your primary color, this being blue, this being a Suzu, I know is like pretty big for this card because it means it's, you can't filter at level 0, but the fact that you get a profitable attacker while like being able to filter at level 1 as opposed to it just being like a shitter lane is like really, really good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give it the plus, even though it's not a like level 0 Rico. I think just being able to swing in at a reasonable power in one of your other lanes is really good. It's like when we got the Xenon back in the day in like Alicization Volume 2 that was a climax swap that attacked at a reasonable power level.
Yeah,
like not having to give
like
up a lane.
That attacked.
Yeah, like not having to give up a lane is pretty nice.
This is also, because it's in the trial deck, this is one of Suzu's only cards that is not level 0 on stage.
Oh,
that is true.
Yeah.
They can't side for free.
Only this one. All the other ones you can.
Basically, only this one. It's
basically, yeah.
dead. I still, to this day, I don't know the flavor, if there's flavor for that. I don't know where that comes from. For Suzu being level 0, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like kind of weird, but I don't know why they chose that to be like the connection to the flavor, but
it could
it's
have
not
been
like
anything
Toma
else.
where he's a level 0 all the time from like rail decks or something. But
you guys are the lore masters. I don't know shit about this. All right.
I hesitate to call myself that. I didn't even finish the show.
After you bought all the manga? And,
I'll get the I opened up one page of the manga. I was like, man, this gets really good. And then I bought it all, and I'll read it eventually.
Nice. All right, well, moving on to the last TD card here, we got the finisher, Matsuri and Suzu. This is placed on the stage by hand or the act ability of that Shirogane that we saw. You can heal, and then on attack, you can pay 2, ditch 1, burn 1 twice, gain 1k. So literally Kokuchino, but heals instead of cantrips. But it's on pants. Pretty nice. I mean, that's like, I can't believe this is in a TD. We have cigarettes
No.
into Cocachino and a TD.
Yeah. I honestly think this trial deck is one of the like strongest trial decks we've seen since Hololive.
I've been
Yeah,
preaching
honestly.
that for like a while now. Like this TD has so many like juicy profiles.
Yeah, which we'll get into a few of them in the
Rico, cigarettes, event
the
that
clean
sculpts
cut's
you.
amazing as well.
A
with
helmet.
Rico.
You
Yeah.
can search
Helmet.
2 finishers with the 1/1 event because this has both names.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is like a totally solid card. It's crazy to
Yep.
say that Cocachino is like just okay in modern format, but I mean, it's just okay. It could be worse. It could be like Icy Tail or something like random. But
could.
instead you get this. Which is very nice.
I am a big fan of Cocachino.
I mean,
So-
1/1, pretty good.
It gets there. But that's all that Aki swung for was 1/1 or burn 4.
That's true. It really only did that.
It was just for much less cost.
Uh-huh. For free.
For
All right.
free.
Wrapping up the TD, couple more. There's a clean cut. It's 1500, and it can give 1500 anywhere on attack, so it can swing in itself at 3k, or it can buff something else if it's like running over something really small. You have a 3/2 Matsuri, which is 1k on turn. You rearrange top 3 and bounce a character, so it's that king profile, which can be nice, especially depending on the deck. If you're a more defensive deck, that rearrange and the bounce can be very nice. There's this 2/1 Suzu that's 10k on turn, so she's a 13k, but she also has on reverse blind stock with a CX in play, which I think is probably just straight power creep on the 2/1 35s that just don't do anything else. This is like just better for 500 less power. You can potentially have this card refund itself, which is pretty good. And then you have this 3/2. It is not a level 0. That is a 3/2. Come and play. Send another character on field to stock. So she plays for 1, and then on the turn she's played, pay 2, ditch 1, burn 4. So that is your off finisher in the TD.
Yeah, you get your ping 1s and then you get your burn 4, or you just stick 8 sometimes. I've done that.
This
I've
is
done that to people.
wait. This TD is actually cracked though. This
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm saying.
This is like
Awful.
It's nuts.
this is like nuts. You actually have like selection and 2-row combos. Yeah, if you're looking to get into Weiss, and you know, you can.
And you've seen this shit for whatever reason.
Yeah, you've seen this shit, or you don't care what's on your cards. You buy this. This is some good
Like
stuff.
this does everything a trial deck wants to do. Like it teaches you the game, teaches you combos, teaches you
A lot of
finishers.
common effects too.
Yeah,
And it's like
Rico.
a lot of these profiles.
Names of
can
effects that
play.
you'll hear.
Rico helmet, like, you know, things that other sets are using, other modern sets are using in a TD.
Yep, clean cut.
Very nice. All right, we can just
That
hop
is a
right into
sick
yellow.
trial deck. All right.
Yeah, Nick, go ahead. We'll just keep
Oh,
going.
this is mine. Oh,
Yep.
you shouldn't have. I love this card. 0/0 Matsuri. On play, discard a climax to salvage a character, climax filter, and then it is a double bouncer. Start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1 and put the top card of your deck into your clock, bounce it to hand, and then choose another character and bounce it to hand. I love this card so much.
This card, amazing.
It does like everything. And like combined with some of the other stuff that this set has, namely like the brainstormer, the cracked brainstormer, and really anything. I mean, just being able to bounce anything on your board is just, I mean, there's beyond just like, okay, so I've done some goofy stuff with this before. I run like 1 copy of this in standby. I was just like doing some testing. You like, I've had like, you know, you don't have any standby targets in waiting room. I've like, I stand by this, and then I realized I was like, oh my god, I can stand by a backup into my back row and then bounce it, and then I'll be level 2.
Yep.
That's really like a really fringe case, but
Mhm.
I mean,
it's just
the
a lot
fact
of
that
goofy stuff.
that this has ditch climax salvage on it and is a good plussing profile in a set that wants to play 8 pants as one of its decks.
Yeah,
That alone
Mhm.
makes it like really, really good.
Yeah.
And just being able to, like, when you have utility cards that are like the brainstorm's like the perfect case that Nick brought up.
yeah,
The Suzu Brainstorm has a very powerful on-play filter ability, but it's not a card you typically want to attack with, and it's not an ability that you'll typically get to use more than once because you play down your Brainstorm and then it sits there for the rest of the game. But having a card like this means that you can attack with that card and get the come and play ability twice and get 2 filters. So having cards like that in your set make a card like this even better. So yeah, big fan. These are also just like very high tempo cards. You can like always attack 3 times in your set at level 0 when you have cards like this that you can afford to play at high counts.
This in combination with Clean Cut also gives you really good tri-fields at 0. Especially if you get like double Clean Cut or something, or any other power pump that you're playing.
You don't even have to have Clean Cut, but like,
you don't even need it. Well,
Yeah,
it's like
I don't.
You can cut your so you can cut one lane and then bounce this in your Clean Cut, and it's just like you deny everything if you really wanted to. You leave open lanes, but
yeah, depends what set you're playing against. But just the ability to tri-field very, very easily, and coincidentally, like if you're playing 3 or 4 of this in your deck, you just play 3 CX Stitch salvages. That's a lot of extra consistency, especially if you're playing pants. So,
yep.
Shame this set doesn't have bar. It's only 3 colors.
If only.
If only.
All right, back to the top. Brayden, go ahead.
All right. We have this level 0. When this is reversed, if the character crosses level 0 or lower, you may stock bomb that, put them in stock, and then they pay out their top. And on death, ditch a card, look at 4, take a level 1 or higher. This is Shihiri Bomb, except it's yellow.
Yeah, stock bomb Fuka-Zero. This is I remember when they had the the Itsuki bomb.
Yeah,
and I thought
it's 1,000 and just a red bomb.
I thought that was pretty dumb when that came out. I was like, damn, this card like fights for board and gives me early mill. This is just and the fact that it's 500 power. Like if this card was 1,000 power, it actually would be nerfed. The fact that it's 500 power, so it always trades with everything, as well as being a Fuka-Zero to get you through your first deck. That's really fucking good. I like this one a lot too.
This card feels like they just slapped 2 random effects on a card and they just work together really well.
Yeah.
And then the point about it being 500 power, I was like playtesting the other day. I was like I played down like 2 of these and I misplayed. I played a pants. I played a 1k1 and then I killed everything and I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
So
just
if you don't do that,
the bigger power bombs are at 0, the worse they are usually, because you just you want to have your card reverse first or always tie.
Be able to reverse into anything.
In bomb mirrors, it helps out.
Yeah, which means that your abilities go off first, or you deny all their stuff. So having it be 500 power is important. It does have to hit grave for the other things, so you can't like truly zone bomb trade. But you know, it still denies everybody else's stuff, which is really good.
Yep. Just another set that gets to run a whole bunch of zone bombs. Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. What is the pink hair girl's name?
Rio.
What was it? Sorry.
Rio, whatever.
Yeah, Rio. Okay. So we got 3/2 Rio. If you have 4 or more Miko City characters, this gets -1 level in hand. So it's an early play on a full board. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. You can look it up to 3 and add 1, or you can heal. And then when this attacks, if you have another character, this gets 3,000 power. So it is a 11k on attack, 4 or more, cantrip or heal 1. Wow, okay. This is just the early play, huh? It's just the early play.
It's everything you ever needed.
It's
just about every deck runs this.
It's IMA, but it plays on a full board.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good. All these cards they're simple, but they're straight bangers. Like all 3 of these so far. What a privilege!
So I was looking through this. Yeah, I was looking through these like a while ago. I was like scrolling down from like the top. I was like, oh my god! Like there's a lot to say about. Well, there's a lot going for a lot of these first cards. We're about to fall off real fast, though.
It gets a little weirder. But no, the prior 2 cards, both of them being really strong playable zeros, really helps this card because the rest of yellow is not as cracked as these first 3.
Okay, so we just saw like the color fixing and the early play.
These last three cards you can shove into literally any deck, and
that's your yellow fix for your early play.
Yeah, and it won't hurt the deck at all.
Yep. The only other yellow card I think is the anti-change yellow.
Yeah.
That makes it into like the other decks at least. There are yellow decks.
Speaking of yellow decks,
Yeah, I was gonna say this is
Here we go.
important.
is this mine?
Yes.
Yeah, Nick.
Okay, so start of your climax phase, you choose one of your characters, gains the following ability. On attack, look at the top card of your deck and put it on top or in waiting room. And then it is a brainstorm for 5 that salvages on wind triggers specifically.
All right, so there's an 8 win deck.
We
Yeah,
have
there's an 8 wind deck, and it is so close to being
It's so close
good.
to greatness.
It's so close. It's if this worked correctly with the level 1 combo, which we'll get to in a little bit, I don't know. It would add so much consistency to the deck.
Mm-hmm.
5-card brainstorm with the ability to just give one of your characters like dig for a trigger, which I'm sure that triggering wind is probably also important for this. That seems pretty good.
Yep.
But by itself, this card
you
is
only
good.
play it in wind, so yeah.
Yeah, it's niche, but
Definitely good for wind.
I want to say it's better than a C+, but it's just not.
it's like it's so close. I honestly think the Data Live Wind deck is a little bit better, but we'll see going forward. But
All right.
We'll get there.
Back to the top with the next one.
Further down we go.
Yep. All right. So this is not wind. This is choice combo. 1-0, 45. When this attacks with, when the choice is placed in your climax area, if you have 5 or less hand, choose a character in waiting room and send it to stock. And then pay 1 when a climax is placed in your climax area. You reveal the top and then choose a level X or lower in your waiting room. Add that to hand. So it's kind of like a weird timing thing because it's all on climax placement. It like stocks one and then you can Amagi kind of for one. Almost like a
Sort
Rico
of.
Amagi. Yeah.
Yeah.
It cleans your stock every turn. If you want. If you play 3 of it.
Yeah, you can order those properly, yeah.
Yeah. I had a stroke reading this card for the first time, dude. I did not understand what it was trying to do.
It's like being
also-
a very weird, just on CX play, reveal top
Mhm.
salvage.
My biggest problem with this card is this thing swings at 5/5 with the climax.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
really
really
bothers me.
small.
Like,
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I think this might suck. I don't think this
This-
is actually
this-
getting
this
good.
is- this is
I've
great.
never seen anyone play choice in my life.
That is
in this set.
not
Both-
good.
Unfortunately, both choice climaxes got pretty.
Oh, they're so bad.
Yeah.
It's like embarrassing.
All right. Well, moving on then. I've definitely seen this card before. We got this 2/1 counter. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 2, ditch a character to choose one of your opponent's characters and give it -2 soul. A -2 soul counter on a character is really, really good. Means you can always grab it, unlike events that are like neg soul counters or things of that nature. This is probably like the entire reason why you'd even want to like consider playing like 8 standby or like non-8 pits decks. You like is to probably play this card, right? Like play multiple.
I run
copies of
this in just about every deck, to be
I
honest.
mean, yeah, you definitely
yeah,
play
it's
at least one, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, so I didn't really think about it, but like, is the reason this card is so expensive because it's a character? Because it's like a
Yes.
-2 soul.
It's a
That makes
character and
sense.
the 2
Yeah.
soul, yeah.
Because I would always complain about this card that it's just like really expensive. That it's like also you have to ditch a trait character specifically. It's kind of
being
kinda
able to
bothers me a
get
little
this
bit.
card and not having to draw
Yeah.
it like other defensive counters is
Mhm.
really, really
How-
good. You also don't need color to play this,
Yep.
which
Mhm.
we said we're splashing yellow, but if
Yeah,
you
more
wanted to
color
splash a
fix.
defensive color and other things, I mean, like even in Dow, like sometimes splashing green, right, to play Realizer is like
To play the
a
chips.
massive issue to play computer chip. So like this being a character, meaning you don't need color, you can easily pick it up. It's got a soul trigger, which means you can pick it up with choice if there were a choice combo worth playing. It's got a bazillion things worth going to. I think like this is like one of the reasons to play Ayakashi, actually, in my opinion at least. I don't know about you guys. This is just somebody from me, like outside looking in. if I were to pick Ayakashi, this would be one of the reasons why. It's because they had this card.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like a super cracked defensive counter.
Yeah, I think this is one of those cards where it's like it takes a little bit to get it into. I had trouble like fitting this in lists, but then I also realized how many anti-changes I was playing, so it's like, oh.
I still kind of do have trouble fitting this into some of my decks, but I mean, 8 pants especially is like super tight. So I feel like there's just so much other stuff that I would rather run to make the deck itself like flow more consistently, I guess, just a little more smooth. I don't find myself like using this hardly ever. I don't know. It's
like, I know
it probably is good. I recognize it like it's good, but it's just not something I want to like replace other cards with.
Once, so I have actually played it, and it does feel great.
This feels really good in 8 standby. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the deck where it shines the most, but the Suzu deck can probably at least afford to play 1.
Well, that would be if we'll get there, but running any backup in 8 pants feels like a waste of deck slots.
Sometimes it just does.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on. Nick, go ahead.
All right, this is the funny card. So as continuous ability, you cannot return your opponent's characters to hand by the effect of wind triggers. And then when you trigger wind, if you don't have another copy of this, choose one of your opponent's characters, may send it to stock. And then it's a stock bomb on wind trigger. And then it also, you can rest it to give 3k anywhere. This is what makes the wind deck any kind of functional.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, looking back through these, I did not understand why it had the line of text if you don't have another copy of this. And then I thought about it for like 3 seconds, and I realized, oh, you could just stock bomb 2 characters.
I mean, yeah. So like that's the 8-win Dow plays. You get double back row, and you just like you rip 1 win, and it's like they're both.
Is that literally the reason why it has that line of text, because of Day Alive?
Well, it's not even that.
Day Alive had a lot of commitment to play it. This is 2-1.
Oh, okay.
The fact that this is cheaper, it's not a constant support, but like tap give 3k is a lot of power.
Yeah.
I do think just kicking your opponent's characters to stock is actually like so much worse than top decking that I would not. Okay, in the modern game where hand is actually so free, if I even played this deck, I think I'd play 1 of this, and I would like rarely field it. Unless there was an ability that relied on my opponent's characters getting kicked to stock. Which I don't know there is. Is there? I doubt it.
No, there's not. This is just hard removal.
Just a field removal. Like, yes, you can remove your opponent's back row with this. And you can, like, get their brainstorm out of there. But, like, those abilities only ever work once. They're like a trick. And we're, like, decently far into the video now, so, like, I can say this. All those cards, like Yuja or whatever, that, like, pop your opponent's back rows, like Milam or stuff like that, unless your opponent is playing a deck where, like, they really must slam cards to the back row. Like, I get it, like, the idea with SDS. Like, those cards are good against SDS because they always slam Elizabeths to the back row. That being said, I think that's ignoring the fact that when you're killing level 0s in the back row, with these effects, and their decks that play Rico, like SDS, they can literally just use their crazy plussing utility to just pick those cards back up, and they're barely phased at all for the cost, for the opportunity cost it takes for you to play those cards. I think that, like, this, yes, it's a nice gravy card, but in the modern game where decks just, like, windfall hand out of fucking nowhere all the fucking time, is there really that much difference between, like, bouncing a card with wind off the board to your opponent's hand and removing that card to stock? Like, yes, they don't get the plus, but, like, how much does that matter in the modern game? I think back in the, like, even, like, 2 years ago, that would sound so much better to, like, hard remove stuff off the board and they wouldn't get it back. But, like, now it's like, man, do I even care? I'd probably only play 1 of this, and it would be for the power. But I don't know. I don't know if that's
at that
accurate.
point, there is also a 0/0 that we'll see that also pumps power that sits in back row in the wind deck.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get there, but
yeah, this like coming. So I've played a lot of Data Live. It's like coming off of 8-win Data Live into this. It's just like it feels so dry. comparatively.
Yeah.
Compared to what that deck does.
Does
I think-
Data Live top deck? I'm not familiar with the wins.
so
list.
Data
Yeah,
Live
it
top
sends
deck's the
spins to
character.
top deck. So
Okay.
and that card mandatory. They play cards that mandatory double trigger and play a bunch of soul triggers. So the idea is that you top deck your opponent's whole board and then stick them for 4. That's the haha funny twins combo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This
and
card's
significantly
probably fine.
funnier.
I'm
Double
being,
it too.
I'm
So it's
fine.
probably being unnecessarily harsh. I'm just thinking it's just like, damn.
Maybe.
I don't
think
think
it will.
I don't think this is that great. Yeah, it's
I
probably.
think it's funny, but it's
I
like
never really considered a lot of that, but it is kind of like you stock bomb like a level 0 and you're like, yeah, I'm the best player ever, and then they grab it back immediately. You don't even like realize it, and then they just play it back down, and you're like, well, how much did that really do? So I guess I see what you're saying.
as a payoff card, this doesn't feel like a payoff card.
Yep.
Power's still nice.
Yeah,
That's a
power's
lot of
nice,
power.
though.
What's the meme? The Hololive tap give 2/5. Wait, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Tap give 3.
All right, moving on. Okay.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, but this is just an anti-change
Yeah,
counter, right?
yeah, so-
However,
yes.
Second, yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the best fucking anti-change counter profile that you can get, and it's a fucking zone bomb. It's a fucking zone one. This is on the same fucking level as ReZero. People do not get this. Like, okay, boomer time. Sorry, Nick.
Go for it.
So you like. People don't know nowadays. They're like, oh, sweet say, ditch 2, go to bottom deck, right? It's just like, back in my day, zone anti-change counters were rare, and you rarely got them. And when you did, they were like Egil, and they were like pay 3 overall, sack a character. When you got this shit in ReZero, you were fucking like, I can actually resolve this thing every turn and slowly go positive on resources. And that's when, like, you start to get real crazy. This card is held back by the fact that all of your Suzus are level 0, which fucking sucks. But like, I think you have to play it.
You
have to play it
so-
because this card is so actually cheap that if your opponent ever goes like, the Suzu's small, I could just run it over. You go like, fuck no, get your early play out of here, and it costs you next to nothing to do. Like this fucking anti-change counter profile is still fucking gross. This cost combined with hard zone removal, also it being stock, which is one that they can never play around. Green ones you can play around. Bottom deck they can like get their cards back. Stock is just gone. It's like a waiting room one that they can't play around. Which is really good.
So what I have with this card is we get the game of that happened in ReZero, where you get to play the game of how many anti-change is the right answer. And when you're playing this and you're brewing your deck, the right number for this is always one more than what your opponent will expect you to have. So I run like 3. I've made decks with like 3 of this. My opponent checks 2 in grave, and it just happens again.
The Christian Yarbacher effect. That was like, I remember when he put out that deck tech, and people were like, I don't get it. 3, really? And I'm like, well, the whole thing with anti-change counter is it's a chicken game, right? And this one being so cheap, if your opponent sees 2, and there goes like, there's no way he plays 3. If you have the slot to play like, multiple blowouts, you play the multiple blowouts, right? Especially when it's a card like this that like it's so cheap and you can win the game.
Yeah. Like, so in my standby list, I'm on like 2 to 3, depending on how many of the next full. Like if I want the 1 or 0 next fulls.
Yeah. I do think in the modern game 2 is probably like the right amount. I think people see 1 and they say I'm safe. I think that's enough.
I think the issue is like, okay, we're gonna get to Suzu eventually. We may as well just
you can just talk about it.
The existence of both Suzu and the double bouncer, I feel like just indirectly makes like every backup in this set worse. Like anytime that someone wants to front into your Suzu, they are either going to bomb it or there is no way that you're gonna get it like back up over it. Like they're confident they can get over it no matter what. And there's not like
and then you just like punch yourself.
And at that
bounce
point,
it
it's
if you
like
wanna
I would
see.
rather just get the Suzu back in my hand than kill her when she's
Well,
going
yeah,
to get bombed anyway.
Especially when that
Exactly.
card heals so much. So it's like taking the
Yeah.
damage. You don't even care at that
Yeah,
point.
like you take one more damage so that she's back in your hand, and you heal an extra
It's like
from
a
playing
calculated
her.
risk from like
Yeah,
you take the damage because you're like, I'll cancel at least one, I'll stay at 2, I'll heal 3 next turn or something like that because you're
or you
a-
top
you're
deck a
heal
climax
spin
and you
deck.
throw your hands up and just
Well,
lose
yeah.
the game.
That's the other one.
There is one, I don't even remember what it is, but there is a card that gives the character opposite has to front.
That's
that
Luna?
does exist.
Are you talking about?
No, that's in this set.
That's
There's
in this set.
In this set, there is a card. I have no idea what card it is, but there is a set that forces front attacks in one lane.
Oh man.
So with the Suzu and this, you can force that. I have no idea what that card is because I have not sleeved it up ever. But
And I'd have to fire up the sim and like run
dig
a fuzzy texture for that line.
I guess there's some surprises for me awaiting in this.
Well, I don't even know.
This set.
It's like, but yeah, I know that does exist as a profile. I don't know if you run that, but no, the counter's good. Suzu is good. The problem is they don't work together very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on here. Brayden, back to you. We'll just loop back.
So here's the finisher for Wind. 3-2 Matsuri on play, heal 1. And on attack, pay 1 if you have the Wind. Reveal 3, and then shuffle them back in. Deal X the number of soul triggers. This is Gura at home. Except it's
I don't
not.
like it.
It's super mid. It's
I don't like this
1
card.
to
Yeah,
2.
this is. I don't think this is actually any good. I think this is actually
It's
bad.
actually terrible. It's like
Yeah.
I've built.
I will say this. Okay, the Brainstormer that gives it the top check, it actually does work with this card, unlike the level 1 combo that we'll get to.
That is true.
You can check for an extra soul trigger or check an extra card. I still don't think it's worth like it. I mean, there's only 2 win combos in this entire set, so your 8-win deck is what it is. You're stuck with this.
Yep. If you want to play 8-win, that is what you play.
And like the wind triggers themselves are like, I don't know, your only extra soul triggers. It is nice that you get to reshuffle your deck if you reveal them, but like you're still not realistically, you're not getting over like 25, 26 soul triggers.
No, you're not.
It literally is
just a
Gura at
coin
home.
flip, yeah.
It's like they wanted to nerf Gura, and this is what they wanted to make out of it. So
No more soul triggers. We need to take them out. Not
I don't
more.
think this set doesn't have any like 1-0 or 0-0 the soul triggers.
One
You're not
of
getting
the-
extra triggers anywhere.
one of the promos is like one of the refunders or something, where like the one that refunds with a soul trigger. But yeah, this just reads pay 1, burn 1 or 2 that you can't control.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We got this Matsuri. During your turn, if you have another character, it gets 3k, so it's 7k, 8k with climax, so pretty big power line. And then when you attack, if you have the Wind, if you have 3 or more other characters, look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose a character from among them, show it to your opponent, add it to hand, send the rest to the waiting room, then reveal the top card of your deck. If that card has a soul trigger, you may send it to stock. So it is literally just a Maguro for 3 with a hefty board condition, and then coin flip for an extra stock. And if that, if a lot of that is climaxes,
yeah.
If wins are really the only source of things, Jesus Christ, that climax.
No, that the climax art is the reason you play the 8-win deck. Actually,
we'll
that's
do
actually
that.
why. No, it's like Chloe, but so much worse.
I don't. This is just a Maguro. It's like
you
fine.
can't.
It's an
top
8K.
check in between
the timing.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
Oh, because it's at the beginning of the climax phase.
It's the same. You have to finish the whole effect before you can top check. It's so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So you can't check 3 and then do it. It's not like, okay, yeah. There's no way to
if it had like, if this was split into 2 separate effects, this card would be like twice as good.
Yeah, but it's not.
But you're still forced to play it with a very mediocre finisher. Yeah.
Now, I will say with the 2-1 support, like if you pump this with the 2-1, you're swinging for like what 11k. So your level 1 combo just clears everything regardless. So that's nice. for some reason, win combos get a lot of power. According
The
to
level
Bushi.
3 combo actually does not get over 10k. I was
Yeah, the
gonna
level
say
3
that.
combo's bad.
Yeah, it's so small.
Yeah, but this swings
This is
very
nice.
nicely. This will swing over like a lot of stuff, especially if once you hit 2.
All right, moving on. Nick, go ahead.
Okay, so if you have the Suzu Brainstormer that we mentioned in your clock, he gets -1 level. On play until the end of your opponent's next turn, gets 4,500, and it's anti-backup. Well, it's just backup. Sick. And then when this card's level 2 or higher, battle opponent is reversed. Choose one trait character and send it to stock. So you can refund 1 stock. You turn off backups in a lane, and then it's one of this is the first of 6 cards in this set that early plays if that thing's in clock.
Yeah, or have
Yeah.
For some reason.
other line of text with that.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the other early play that I've seen far less than the Rhea,
Yeah.
but people seem to like it. I don't like it.
It's just a 3/114k cross turn.
Yeah.
It gives you an open lane if that's something you want. This is something it will make, because your opponent has to completely clear it with something.
If I really want to clear my opponent's thing, I'd rather run the TD, the 13k.
Yeah,
The 2/1.
Yeah, the 2/1.
I think this is fine though. I think it's okay.
Like, this profile's all right.
It is more yellow.
It's good against tap. It's an out the tap counter, which is nice. All right, moving on. Back to the top.
All right, so here is the Lucy finisher. 3/2 on choice. This is a 10/5. On the turn this is played, when this card's damage is canceled, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. So cancel burn 1. And then combo, on reverse, you can pay 3, ditch a card. If you have the choice, you can stand this.
Wow.
This is the most
Vanilla.
basic vanilla thing.
Yeah.
The damage numbers on restand and cancel burn 1 aren't the worst, but there's so much more you could be running.
Bro, why? Like,
They kind of did Lucy dirty. Like, she has good cards, and then they just made her combos egregious.
both of these combos suck. Like, okay, I'm not playing this.
Yeah, so
she has
choice is not it.
No.
Like, okay, there's nothing wrong with just raw restand. What I have an issue with is like cancel burn 1, not enough. The last raw restand I played was Shea, and Shea plays an entire board of herself for 2 stock, and then plays another thing for free.
Spawning.
It's just like you got to do something to make you want to play a restander, and this is not enough something.
This is also on reverse. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, go. So yeah, the cost on this is also ridiculous. So reverse with climax, pay 3, ditch a card.
Yeah, Shea doesn't need to reverse either. This is she's same cost end of attack.
This thing doesn't get power either. It's on reverse and it's 11/5 on combo. That's so bad.
Yeah, this card is just woefully terrible.
Nothing going for it.
Yeah. Bad card.
Bad card.
All right. You got this Rio. When you trigger climax with a win trigger, you can pay 1 and salvage a character. Okay. Act rest this, give a character 2k. This card goes in my back row 10 out of 10 times over the other card. We'll say 9.5 out of 10 times.
I love this thing.
This is why you fucking play 8 win. All your wins are doors that pay themselves out with triggers. Yeah, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me, especially when you occasionally generate extra stock. Yeah, we like that. We like this a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're playing the level 1 combo, it'll if you reveal I think the way it's worded is if you reveal a card with a soul trigger. Oh, it says you may send it to stock. So I guess you don't have to send your win trigger to stock. But I guess you wouldn't be you'd be triggering it instead, so you could pay it out immediately. But then you'd kind of be losing the stock. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next, simple but good. Nick.
Oh my. On attack, if you have 2 or more other, it gets 2k, so it's 6/5. And then on attack, if you have a wind climax in your climax area, reveal top. If it's level 2 or higher, add it to hand.
So here's your level 8 combo for 8 wind.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. I don't know what this card is trying to do either, to be honest. I feel like, I mean, it's one. It does. I guess it does effectively do the same thing. Now that I think about it,
This works with the
This
brainstorm.
works. Yeah, this works great with your brainstorm.
Yeah.
true. Oh, it does.
I mean, it's like a whatever wind you have, slam it. I think those are pretty good. Only for the wind deck, obviously. But like, yeah, you play this card if you're playing 8 wind. Yeah, that's for sure. Just a free
I really wish
6/5.
this was just like on climax placement instead of on wind placement. Kind of.
That'd probably be too good.
Oh shit! I just deleted my box.
That's actually the data life one.
All right, that's my box.
Yeah, you can use that one for this.
There we go.
All right, next.
All right.
Back to Brayden.
Yep. 1/1 has a soul trigger. It's only 5k.
Yippee!
When this is played on stage from hand, you can ditch a card. If you do, look at 4. Choose 1 card with a soul trigger. Show to your opponent. Add to hand. Ditch the rest. Ame was too strong, so they printed this card.
Yep. This is Azusa for cards with soul triggers, which means it can add wins.
Yes, it can.
And add your climax. Yeah.
You can play 1 or 2 of this, and it does dig for your climax for free.
You will always see this in the wind deck.
It is also just more soul triggers for that deck.
Yeah.
Well, you can also wait. You can also play it in pants. I actually like this as like a one-of way to dig for climax and pants.
You could play this in pants.
Yeah.
I wouldn't run it in pants.
I wouldn't.
You could.
I mean, you're probably triggering enough pants to make up for that, but you really want to dig for climaxes, you could also play it in pants. Or standby. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a ditch out deck speed and finds the standby.
Alright, and last yellow card. We got this 1/0. This is also Matsuri, right? Same character.
Yep.
Okay.
Have we seen any? Is this the first card with him as a guy?
Yeah, first male Matsuri.
Nice.
If you don't have a character, you can't play it. Look it up to 4. Choose a character. Add it to hand. Send the rest to waiting room. Choose one of your opponent's front row. Send it to. Oh my god! It's fucking. It's fucking. What is it from Persona 5? The fucking
the hat event or whatever, the mask event.
Whatever it is. God, why can I not remember this? This is like I'm gonna be made fun of this endlessly.
This is all you.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Totally not searching. Calling card. It's calling card.
There we go.
Yeah, calling card. Completely slipped my brain. Because Kaguya also had this, and I want to say, oh, it's like the Kaguya event. It's like, no, it's the Chica event. It's like, no, that card has a name. Yeah, it's calling card. Calling card is fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with calling card, but
Calling card. I know that one. Yeah. I don't know that one. I'm a new player.
It's okay.
Calling card has a ditch bonder at least.
Calling card has a ditch bonder and like hand disrupts your opponent for no reason. This does none of those things. All right. Yellow notable profiles real quick. We got one of these ditch one, send self to bottom deck searches. They're like costless drop searches. They like helmet from deck because they send themselves to bottom deck, then you shuffle up, so that part doesn't really matter. We have this level 0 Matsuri. It's come in play and on death. You can put a character in your clock to check 3 for any cards. It's like the Biken from Guilty Gear. Then we have this level 0, which is on attack console twice. So if you really wanted to dig for wins or climaxes of any kind, that is your card for sure.
That card's great in standby.
You play this. I was gonna say standby. Standby is all about just digging for more and more triggers. You just that's so good.
You want to trigger 3 times for standby.
You want to trigger as many times as you can.
You want to ditch those. You want your hand is full of 3/2s. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna filter and dig for climaxes, which is good, especially in standby. And then you got this 1/0 Rio, which is come and play, gain 2K.
That's not what that is.
What is that?
This is a SAC climax swap.
Oh, okay. I think I what is it? Sack climax swap.
Set climax,
Sack other
yeah.
climax swap. Yeah. Okay.
105k.
That was
That's a
not
good
true.
card.
Artifacts. It's almost like these set reviews are generated by a tool of some kind that
Ooh.
puts the cards in. And then I have to come in and move things around. So yeah, that was an artifact. My bad. But yeah, sack other climax swap. The fact that it's 5k again, same reason as we talked about before. Having like the Suzu Rico, like having cards that do utility effects and then also attack at reasonable power levels, provided that they are on color for your strategy, are really good. So obviously for wind, this would be pretty good. All right, and I think that's it for yellow, and I think we're going to break here and come back with red and blue tomorrow. So we will see you then.